could never get used to this. Like, am I England here? Let me just censor myself a little bit more. I think that's better. To get me a little BBL, maybe. A little BBL. A little, give me a little pinch through here. Ooh, catch. Which I will be a problem. Nah, I'm not touching those. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new today, I'm Crystal with a K. It's nice to meet you. Hey guys, so today I am back with another story time. You know, all in all, I hope in these story times that whoever I'm talking to or getting to know winds up actually trying to get to know me by looking at these videos and actually seeing why my mental is probably the way my mental is when it comes to these dudes, because the shit I go through with these guys. Today's story time is another, guy meet up on one of my crazy nights. Ugh. Let me tell you, I appreciate very much this platform to be able to talk and express myself on video camera. It's like a diary, because I hate having to sit there and keep writing, so I can just sit here in front of the camera and just speak. And I love how good the quality is. My God. I want to leave some kind of legacy, but not only leave a legacy, but drop a little bit of knowledge to people, to folks who are not experienced with people that are of trans experience. Just to give everybody different perspectives of different types of trans women and what we go through, etc. And also, like I said before, for guys who's basically just trying to get to know like some trans women or me or whatever, to be able to see the kind of things that I've went through, the kind of things that made me and molded me to become who I am today. So with that being said, as you can see, it's another crazy situation by the title. I'm known for running into crazy situations, which is why I'm so safe and secure and try to protect my peace so much to this day. But, I mean, you live, you learn. I never regret anything that I went through because it molded me. So, this particular situation, I don't remember the guy's name. This wasn't like somebody that I was like dealing with. This was somebody that I bumped into, and I was being a little whore. Like, I was being a little whore. It was one of them nights. Like, we all have one of them nights. Don't judge me. I was coming from one of my homegirls' house, a friend that I knew since high school. And she was with her boyfriend. And they lived on 220-something on the D line. And I remember around that time, I didn't really have like transportation like that. Like, we would go to these organizations to get these little free Metro cords and stuff. And then we would use that to travel. But most of the time, we wouldn't even spend it. I would just stack up and save the Metro cards for in case of emergencies. When I tell you I was a walker, when I worked at McDonald's on 59th Street in Manhattan, and I lived on 170-something in the Bronx, I was on 179th and Valentine Avenue, and I would walk from 179th and Valentine Avenue all the way down to 59th Street by Central Park to where that McDonald's was by the mall. That's how dedicated I was to get stuff done, to get my life rolling because of the situations that I've been through. But yeah, talk about a turning point. I was coming from my homegirl's house late night, not too late, probably around like midnight. I was coming from their house. I was staying on 176 at the time on Tremont. I was staying down there, and it was just like a straight path because I just went up towards Webster, and I just kept walking all the way down Webster. So as I was before I went to go up to Webster, I walked down Valentine. So when I was walking down Valentine, child, that's where it began. So Valentine is where I used to live, you know, around 170 something. That's why I chose that path to walk down, because it was a very familiar path and I wanted to just see who's around, who's the neighbors, etc. So as I'm walking down, I see this boy. He had like this navy blue hoodie, like this slick black hair and all that like shortcut hair or whatever. It was just like, you know, I walked past, I looked at him or whatever, and I walked past. One thing about me that everybody should know: I don't stop no man. I don't stop no man. I don't hit up no man or nothing. I don't hit nobody up. I don't know what it feels like to hit somebody up, to approach somebody. That's just not how I operate. I operate off of when people hit me up. I don't know. If I see somebody and I feel like, you know, they're looking good or whatever, and I'm not gonna say nothing. I guess it's my own little insecurity of the situation, but I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna wait for you. If you feel like you want me enough, you gonna open your mouth and you gonna come and try to talk to me, and that's what it is. And if that happens, then it's meant to be. If it don't, then so I walked past him or whatever, and you know, I'm paying it, being real kind. So he walks up behind me, obviously. It's like, oh, can I talk to you? First thing I always do also when somebody approaches me, listen, I hope you know I'm transgender. Even though you can hear it in my voice, I still make sure, because people like to play dumb or act like they don't know stuff or whatever. So the first thing I let you know is I'm transgender. It is what it is. You either like it or you don't. I would say 90% of the time they're most likely with it, you know. 60% of the 60% of the time, yeah, they don't know. But anyway, he knew, he was with it. So I was just like, okay, so what's good? Like, how you doing? Da, da, da. So he was just basically chopping it up, trying to throw some game. And I'm getting into him. He pulled his hoodie down. So I'm just like, oh shit, he was really cute. He's like, he has like that cinnamon skin tone, a little lighter than me. It was just smooth. And you know, he had facial hair. He had like a goatee, like not a complete goatee, like it was trying to connect. Like, but it ain't connect yet, but it was trying to connect. You know, it was trying to. He was very, 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 very handsome. I was probably like around, I would say I was like 24 at the time, probably 24, 25. So he was probably like a year younger than me or so, I believe he said. He was talking outside for a little bit, you know. He was telling me how he was, you know, visiting some friends over in the area or something. And then we went into the building that he was standing in front of, I guess where his friend stayed. And we was in a staircase, just like talking, chopping it up, this and that. And then his friend's mom came to the door, and then we went inside the house. I guess he had to do something, so they let me wait and sit on the couch. So I started really feeling myself, because it was just like, okay, I'm inside, like I'm feeling like the hunts, like you know, right? This is the first time I'm coming out like as trans. You know, this is my first through like experiences and stuff. Like, they just let me in the home like hunt. Like, they knew obviously what it was, but they just didn't care. I guess it was that type of family friend circle or whatever. I do remember there was a lot of people there, so you know, what we wanted to do, we couldn't really do. So we kind of went to the staircase, or whatever. Oh my God, I'm a staircase girl. We didn't have like, you know, full-on sexual intercourse. And I'm gonna tell you why, because this is when shit started getting to the get. So we went to the staircase, and I'm feeling it or whatever. We still chopping it up. He was telling me how he He told me he was adopted, and he said he was Arabic and black. So that's the mixture that he had, the skin tone he had. He said he was Arabic and black. He said he dropped out of school. He did say he dropped out of school and stuff. Did mention that he be in the streets and stuff like that. So, I mean, it was a lot of red flags that was going over my head because, I was feeling it. But I didn't care, This guy, he looked like a hood version of Aladdin. He looked like a gangster Aladdin. That's what he looked like. We started making out in a staircase and stuff. And, when you making it, we was making out for a beat. And, when you making out, like, adrenaline starts rushing. So I'm sitting there, I'm, like, grabbing on his chest, like, touching his body. He had a nice body. Oh, my God. Like, so that I put my hands down to the pants. He kind of, like, opened his legs, I guess, so I can get to it. Like, he kind of, like, when he did that, I heard a thud. I heard, poof. I'm like, not so much of a, like, a hard, like, OD, but it was a thud. I'm like, why am I hearing a thud? I had the dick in my hand. Like, I had the dick in my hand and I heard a thud. So I'm just like, okay. It was long. Can I say that here? Oh my God. It was a pleasant size. It was rather gaggable. So when the thud happened, he kind of like looked at me and I kind of looked at him like, what the heck was that? And then he was like, my fault, hold on. So he kind of like swiveled his dick out my hand to kind of like lean up. And he went in his pocket and he pulled out a whole pistol. Like, I mean, do you call it a pistol? It was like a 22. But he pulled that shit out. It was metal. It was like silver. It was probably like this big. It was like this big. Handle like that big. That shit was heavy as hell. He said, and put that shit right there next to him, and it wanted me to proceed. And I was just like, kind of pickle you got yourself in here now. Like, me at the moment, I'm in like survival mode. Like, I'm just like, oh shit. Like, if I don't suck this nigga dick, I'm gonna die. Like, that's why I was thinking inside my head. And I was like, at this point, I don't feel like sucking his dick. Like, I'm a little bit nervous. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be, and then next I don't know if he's one of them crazy people. I just don't play with weapons. Now, I mean, I grew up around it. I definitely grew up around it, near it, in situations and all that stuff. But me personally, it's just not my forte, No ma'am, you can have it. Instantly in my head, I'm just like, my stomach is getting like, and I'm just like, oh yeah. I didn't know you was like, Karen. He's like, yeah, I always keep that on me, this and that. I'm just like, okay. I so forgot that I had an appointment in the morning, so I lost track of time. I gotta go. He knew I was nervous. He was like, you don't gotta be scared. I'm not after you or anything. That's just protecting for myself. I do what I gotta do and get what I need to get. That's just how I was raised. So I was just like, oh, okay. You gonna do what you need to do to get what you need to get. That appointment is very urgent. I started to tell him I had all types of STDs and all that stuff just so he'd be disgusted. But I thought that probably would make him even more mad. And he probably just like, of course I was overthinking it because, even though I messed with guys that was affiliated, they never just like, comfortably just like, like it was nothing when I first met them. Like usually it's like we in the stages, usually they, licked it a little bit, blew on it at least before they just like right in. I was just like, I really have to get up early in the morning. He's like, where's your appointment? I was like, my appointment's in Queens. And then he was like, all right, so let me walk you downstairs. I was like, okay, we go walk me downstairs. So I'm just like making sure he walks in front. I make sure I'm like, trying to conversate, making sure he's like right next to me and stuff. He put it already back in his pocket. I don't know how I couldn't notice it at first, because now that I knew it was there, you can see how that side of his pants is kind of like thick. I don't know. So we get outside or whatever. I'm like, okay, so like from here I can just go back. So mind you, I'm walking back uptown where I came from to make it seem like I'm going back home or something, even though I had to go back downtown. So I don't know what I was thinking. I probably was thinking too fast, but whatever. I know uptown was the way I used to live, so I knew I couldn't, like, if I had to run or anything, I knew the ropes. I knew how to get around. He was just like, let me walk you to the corner. I'm just like, you can't say no at this, can't say no at this point. I let him walk me to the corner, and he was just like, yo, Pharrell, you should just spend the rest of the night with me. You can go to your appointment from me, and straight from me in the morning. And I'm like, no, I got to get all freshened up and all that stuff. He's like, no, we're going to get a hotel. I'm like, we're going to get a hotel? So I'm like, he's like, yeah. All I do is just, I'm gonna do what I need to do. And then I'm going to pull up on you or whatever. And then you're going to just jump in the car. I'm like, oh, you got a car? He's like, nah, but I'm going to get one. And I'm like, okay. I ain't think nothing of it at first. He was just like, nah, I'm going to get one. I'm like, okay. I thought he was going to borrow his friend's car or something. I was like, no, I don't think I'm really up for it. I need to be mentally ready. I gotta go. And he was like, damn, like, I get you whatever you want. Like, I even buy you a necklace. Just come with me tonight. I really don't want to be alone. Then that's when the guilt started coming in. Like, I started feeling bad. He was just like, yeah, I really grew up with nobody. I don't like really fuck with nobody, and I love trans women and this and that. I'm just about to hit a lick real quick, and all you have to do is just jump in the car and we out to Queens and all that stuff. And I'm just like, that's so sweet of you. That's so sweet. But I'm gonna be real with you. It's just not my type of thing. I respect it wholeheartedly. I respect it. I fucks with people who, is in the same lifestyle. I don't, but but I fucks with it. It's just I gotta go. I gotta go. He respected it or whatever. So I kept walking. I crossed the street because I wanted to be able to see if he decided to cross the street, or if he was following me through a little bit of my peripheral, even though I still was looking back, but I ain't trust no shit. So I walked back up Valentine, back uptown, and I remember making a right, and I turned or whatever. I walked all the way up and I turned, and I think it was Briggs Ave or something like that. It was Briggs, and I started walking down Briggs. And then as I was walking down Briggs, so I'm walking down Briggs, and I passed, the area where I used to live. So I'm almost at the point where I met him, but just on Briggs instead of Valentine. I walked down, and then it's this lady in a panic. Mind you, it's like, at this time, it's probably like 2 o'clock in the morning right now. And this lady's like frantic on the phone, just like crying, like, oh my God, like, he just came up to me. Like, basically, she was in her car, and she said a guy in a hoodie came up to she said a black hoodie, but it was navy blue. But a guy in a black hoodie came up to her in her car while she was parked, and with a gun, and made her get out her car and took her information and all that stuff and drove off with her car. I'm walking and like listening to her like explain this or whatever as I'm like walking, and I didn't stop, so I didn't get to really hear the rest of the conversation because my heart was just like, I was farting. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna front. Like, I was walking, I was farting, I was by myself. Like, the whole time I'm just thinking about like everything. I'm like, did this nigga like really just rob somebody? Like, I'm pretty sure that was him. I'm pretty sure. So at this moment, I'm looking around, like looking at cars that's going by. I don't know what car is hers or anything. I'm looking for any car that slowed down, because there's no way. It had to be about From the time it took me to walk all the way back up and go all the way to Briggs and come back down, it had to be a good only about 10 to 15 minutes, like 15 minutes or so. It had to be only that amount of time for him to be able to do all of that quick. So I was really nervous. Once I got past the spot on Briggs of where I met him and I passed that lady, I went probably like a block and a half down and I turned up and I booked it to where I needed to go on 176. Like I was out. I booked it. No. That is the reason why I wanted to. Ugh. I never seen this guy again. I never heard from him or anything like that. When it happened, it was that I remember going back to my friend Jeremy at the time, and I was telling him like everything that happened, and he was just like sitting like, "Are you fucking serious?" Like I came in, I was like white. Like he said, I was white. Like I felt like I was pale because I was just like so scared. But the reason why I mainly like told this specific story is basically to show reasons why I don't deal with random people. This is why I made the decision not to just like not just meet random people. I don't even gonna say meet random people, hook up with random people. I didn't fully hook up with this person, but if I did, I feel like it could have went way worse than it did. I panic a lot when it comes to certain scenarios, so I don't like to be put in certain situations, especially hostile situations, unless I have to, but that's a whole nother story. I was telling a story just to like basically give reasons as to why I move the way I do when it comes to people who stop me in the middle of the street, why I'm just so very like open and straightforward with people, why I move the way I do, why my intuitions click. It's just scary. Like you never know who you can meet. Trust me, that this is nothing. Like these situations y'all heard so far about what I've been through with guys has been nothing so far. Like I've been through a lot of crazy situations, and that's all caused of back when I used to be a lovesick puppy. I used to always need to feel like I needed that love validation. I needed a man in my life, and I'm already at the point where I'm comfortable with myself. I've experienced so much to the point where I'm just like good at, you know, if I meet somebody, I meet them. If I don't, I don't. And if I do meet them, I'm gonna take my time, very much so, because I don't need another crazy hoe. There's only be one. I appreciate you guys rocking out with me. Sorry it's been, you know, a little gap again from when I was posting. There's a lot that's been going on, you know, the past few weeks, but I'm about to get a lot of stuff done. You guys about to come on a crazy journey with me, so I'm gonna make sure I document as much as I can, as well as, you know, share my energy with partial of my energy with you guys, because I don't know y'all like that yet. I still don't know you like that. Like we just been talking for like 4 months. I mean, we cool. You cool and all. Like we here. I can tell we here already, but you know, it's only been like 5 months. So, you know, I got 100 of y'all over there. So we'll see how things go, and we'll see how much more I open up. But until then, I appreciate you guys for coming through to another video and tuning into my life and another story time. Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the situation, if you've been in similar situations, and let me know if you like this story, if you want to hear more stories about my life and situation I go through, or if you want to hear more stories besides about the guys that I've dealt with in my life. I could do other story times besides that. But I also have a lot of other videos that's going to be prepared for you guys. So just leave a comment down below. Make sure you hit that like bell, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified for when I make my next post. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.